Friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to. On today's episode, we got a bunch of news. Much of it is kind of weird. I don't know what to make of some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Including perhaps some information on Chris Jericho's future, Bron Breaker's future. Some weird stuff about Charles Manson. We're going to have some Charles Manson on our show. That is a first.
Never expected that.
Yeah, right? Hopefully, are we just going to do a review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? You got to see that movie.
I haven't watched that movie before.
And then this first one, though, Ako Taco, awkward situation here. That's what Lacey says whenever there's an awkward encounter or situation. She says, Ako Taco. Andrade might be coming back to the Federation, dude.
This is weird. I don't know how much stock to put in any of this, but it's going around, so we'll talk about it. So just when we thought that Andrade's WWE departure couldn't get any weirder, PW Insider issued a report which stated that, quote, the story making the rounds in Mexico is that, quote, there is a belief in some lucha circles that WWE is trying to use the leverage of the potential one-year no-compete as a way to bring Andrade back into the fold. That's back into WWE. So despite being...
the fold is WWE.
Yeah, despite being on a non-compete, which could extend for an entire year, we still haven't got much clarity as in terms of how long. We don't know. Andrade is still being advertised for upcoming shows in Maine and New York. So let's go back to the idea. Now, we speculated back when shit started to hit the fan with all this, non-compete, so on and so forth. WWE are only maybe only really exercised that non-compete, enforced it, because Andrade had the temerity to go sign with AEW.
Yeah, right, yeah.
If he hadn't done that, they probably wouldn't care. Now is a situation where they misread the room, realize there's a market for Andrade in AEW. They don't want that to happen, and so they're going to try to use the leverage of the one-year non-compete to try to bring him back. But another thing we haven't had answered for us is his AEW contract been nullified because of this?
Okay, you got to think that's going to be up to... Because, geez, dude, did you hear this? I hate saying something without like a proper source, but I want to say it was probably Fightful because that's what I read on the reg because it just shows up on my phone. Those other guys need to have like their daily updates go to phones. Mm-hmm. That'd be great. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that the fault over him showing up in AEW was with AEW's legal team for not properly vetting like the situation, which makes sense. I mean, who else would it fall on?
Yeah.
I guess they could have been like, oh, well, Andrade's legal team didn't do it. But, that's AEW. They're the company bringing him in. They got to do the due diligence, right?
They got to do their due diligence, indeed.
So I've got another, if this is true, and again, this PW Insider saying the story making the rounds in Mexico, which... I don't know who's talking about it, but if this is true, it wouldn't shock me, dude, if WWE wanted to avoid at any cost this going before a judge, because it sets a dangerous precedent if they really like these non-competes. And so in the case of Andrade, it could be, well, he's under contract with it because, okay, here's also my thing. I don't know what the difference is when WWE releases a talent from their contract. They've got a 90-day no-compete where they're paid.
Yes.
I think, I'll put it this way. In Steve's head, it wouldn't surprise me if that's like technically a no-compete clause. In the case of, like, for example, Samantha Irvin, that doesn't sound like a non-compete. It sounds like she signed a contract for X number of years. She wanted to dip out of the contract because she didn't see herself advancing in WWE, and she still had that amount of time left on her contract. And so it's like, yeah, you can't just go somewhere else. If we bring somebody to the Sacramento Kings for a 3-year contract, and they're like, for whatever reason, I'm leaving. I quit. I get fired intentionally. Like, obviously, intentionally, I'm getting fired. They can't just go to the Indiana Pacers. Like, you're under contract with us. Like, you can come back and work, but you decided to not do that. And so with Andrade, I don't know. I just don't know that this is a non-compete, or is it simply he got fired, but he's got that contract that says you can't go somewhere else if you're still with, like, if you get yourself fired. That's just that loophole they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it depends on one's definition of a non-compete.
And I'm sure, here's the thing, I'm sure there is a legal definition of this stuff, and maybe both Samantha Irvin and Andrade are correct when it's referred to, or the situation is correct when it's referred to as a non-compete. I don't know because I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah. But I think generally wrestling circles, the non-compete is just anything that prevents you from working someplace else once, for whatever reason, you leave a company.
Sure. And if that's the case, that's fine. But in my estimation, that is a different situation than WWE says, hey, for 90 days, the cool-off period, we pay you because we released you, and you can't work for that 90 days, but we're going to be paying you. Yeah. And that's the big difference, whether or not they're being paid or not.
Yes.
And so in the case of Andrade, is it simply they're saying he's still under contract, we're having him come to work, so there's no case for him to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, they fired him, but I don't know. Dude, all this boils down to what is in the contract. But it wouldn't shock me if WWE's trying to bring him back, then maybe it's a situation where, well, we don't know that if it is an actual like function of the contract that they think is going to be on legal sketchy ground.
Yeah.
Let's try to nullify any of that because we like doing things the way we're doing them by saying, hey, you get your job back. So you really don't have, like, you can get paid. You just got to work your dates here. Even if it's like, well, you got to show up and be in catering. I don't know how they're going to handle all that stuff. Either. I really don't.
I don't know.
So I don't know, man. I mean, that's a fucking Akko Taco situation, though.
That's a weird situation, yes.
Unless, like, there can be, Triple H has been known at times to be, like the Bruno situation, the Warrior situation, the guy that knows how to smooth things over. Maybe he can reach out and be like, hey, El Idolo, I understand that maybe we didn't use you in the best way. We'd like to present you with some stuff that can better utilize your talents.
I guess in that sense, it might be more comparable to the Santos Escobar situation where his contract expired, he immediately left, only for a matter of days later for him to re-sign with the company because they apparently presented him with a creative plan that was more to his liking. Plus, it seemed like they added a bunch of zeros to the contract.
Or if it's just a matter of like, we know you fired you. We know we fired you because you're, because of cause. But we're going to keep on paying you to sit at home for the remainder of your contract. And in a year, you can do whatever you want to do. But we don't want to deal with the legal headaches of all of that. And you can work indie dates too, or maybe you can go down to Mexico and work some dates there as long as it's not on television.
Yeah, that might be the kind of the delineation as long as it's not televised. Yeah,
I could see them wanting to keep their business practices in play because the one story that was, or the one idea that was out there was, this is not enforceable in a court of law. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, that might be a situation where they kind of want to patch up the situation best they can to avert any sort of legal processes that might preclude them from continuing to use this clause in future deals or even the current ones.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a really weird story. I did not expect to be typing notes with regards to Charles Manson in relation to the world of pro wrestling.
Yeah, it's first.
So while on Freddie Prinze Jr.'s podcast, Wrestling with Freddie, former WWE writer Nick Manfredini told the story.
What a great name.
Manfredini, told the story about how Charles Manson was shown some of Bray Wyatt's promos, and Manson asked to meet Bray Wyatt. So these transcripts come to you from Wrestling Observer. Manfredini said, Charles Manson, I don't know if this story has ever been told. Wyndham, of course, that's Bray Wyatt's real name, Wyndham Rotunda. Wyndham's teammate, former college football teammate, became a prison guard at Charles Manson's prisons. Allegedly, this guy showed Manson the Bray Wyatt promos, and he wanted to meet him, and this was a whole thing. I swear, it is 100% true. So Mike Rotunda, Bray's dad,
Iris.
knew about it, and I think he brought it up to somebody. I don't know if it was Hunter or Vince or somebody, and they immediately squashed it because they were like, can we shoot a WWE Network special with Charles Manson? And it was immediately squashed. So he continues to talk more about how Manson, amongst others, was an influence on Bray's character. This has to be early on when he got called up the main roster, but he's very much doing the cult leader type stuff.
Yeah.
Saying, so Wyatt's character was very Charles Manson inspired, right? My YouTube search history back then was just Charles Manson and cult leaders. We were trying to take little pieces from each one. I was like, let's just go. Next time we're in Northern California, me and you just put on a hat or something. Nobody will know it's you. Let's just go meet him, you know? I thought more about it, and obviously it was a terrible, terrible idea. It would have been a good story, but a bad idea.
Yeah, no, that's a terrible idea. I mean, I don't know. I know there are people out there who are fascinated by, you know, the serial killer thing. Manson actually didn't kill anybody. He just told people to go. He used his influence, and the guy was, died behind bars, and that's great. Probably where he belonged, but he definitely did develop a cult-like following in popular culture, and I would kind of doubt, like everything I've ever seen, and obviously I didn't know Wyndham Rotunda, but I'd be kind of surprised if he was like, "Oh yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go meet you." I think he was just a dude, I think he was just a creative dude who, took inspiration, obviously, from Waylon Mercy, who took inspiration from Cape Fear, who would, the De Niro character in that probably took inspiration for a little bit from Charles Manson. I could see that.
Probably probably countless criminals,
Right. I mean, the idea of a cult that's called a family obviously stems from the Manson family.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be kind of, man, I don't know, if I'm like, all right, I got this really cool character, kind of edgy, kind of dark, he like eats people and shit. He's a cannibal guy. Like, I'm not going to go and try to, if Dahmer's like, hey, did Dahmer eat people? I think he did.
Yeah.
If he was like, hey, I want to meet this guy, I'm like, nah, bro, I'm just playing a character.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life.
I mean, there
meeting anyways.
There probably is some precedent for people portraying a character wanting to gain further knowledge of that character, and if there's a situation where there is a one-on-one interview possibility to gain further insight into the character, to channel aspects of that character into, for example, Bray Wyatt, maybe that would be the motivation. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the dude was super into horror movies, and he was making his own, I think, at a certain point.
Yeah, later on, yeah.
So yeah, maybe there's something about that to gain some insight. I don't know. I don't know what kind of dude he is. It's like, I don't know.
The whole idea of doing like a Bray Wyatt Charles Manson sit down for a network special. What that is far ballsier a thing than WWE would ever do. No. I didn't think they'd do that in the Attitude Era.
What's that?
I didn't even think they'd do that in the Attitude Era.
Oh, brother, they would. Oh, they would have.
They might have entertained the idea. I don't know if they would have followed through on it, though.
Dude, Vince had Pillman's widow on the show. He was that's right. Nah, man. In the Attitude Era, Vince, he would have done anything. That guy was so desperate for views. USA would have been like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this," and he'd be like, "Oh," and then they'd still be fine.
Yeah, they'd just keep on going. They might have like an executive check-in for a couple of weeks, and then they'd forget about it.
You can't. Here. This is my guess about all that. Vince Russo would have been so about it. Vince would have been so about it. Pat Patterson and Cornette, if they were around, Vince, I don't know if we should do this. I think McMahon would have done that shit, man. I do. Not after he went family friendly. Not a chance, obviously. Not a chance. But back then, that dude, come on, man. He was like, he showed nipple on a pay-per-view. It's kind of the same thing. He showed nipple several times on pay-per-views.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
Yeah. So I don't know. That guy, he would have done that shit. Anyways, would you like to? Why we keep on all these controversial topics leading into our sponsor read?
It's just the way it works out sometimes, I guess.
Sorry, Cash App. Here's a read from our sponsor for the week, Cash App.
This episode of Going in Raw is sponsored by Cash App. Steve, there are some things in life that I just can't stand. You know, I've listed many of them throughout the week, like stinky cheeses, wind, olives. Oh, and I can't stand overdraft fees. Ugh. I remember back when I was working my first job and got hit with some outrageous overdraft fees that basically ate up an entire day's worth of work. It was maddening, frustrating, and incredibly lame. Ugh.
That sounds like it stinks. And while I enjoy a lot of the things you mentioned, like stinky cheese, for example, we can agree on overdraft fees, Larson. They do, in fact, stink. Thankfully, Cash App does more than you think when it comes to having your back and making sure your money stays your money. If you direct deposit at least $300 in paychecks each month and use the Cash App card for purchases, you can unlock up to $200 in free overdraft coverage. If you overdraft unexpectedly, there are no hidden fees.
Manage your money on your terms to take advantage of free overdraft coverage up to $200 on Cash App today. For a limited time only, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use code CASHAPP10 in their profile at sign up. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply.
Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Overdraft coverage provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Following up on what we were talking about, if in the Attitude Era they were presented with this opportunity, Vince decided to roll with it, who would be the sit-down?
You mean opposite Manson?
Yeah.
Oh, Mankind.
Yeah. Oh, man, he would do a good job, too. I was thinking in my head, I was like, man, what if they had, like, Undertaker? Because he's, like, a supernatural guy with a faction. Could you imagine how awkward, how wonderful? Because Mankind would actually be good. Foley would probably object to it, but
yeah,
he would do really, really well.
He'd do an interesting job, whereas Undertaker would be incredibly awkward. Oh, one thing that came up during my research for today's show is apparently, this is kind of an update from yesterday, the AJ Lee stuff about the Facebook post. It wasn't AJ Lee.
Oh shit, that was a fucking, what did I tell him? What did I tell you?
Yeah.
Then I'm telling you, that's why at the very end of it, she was like, send me Steam cards. Bro, you can't trust anything on Facebook. No. Nothing. Nope. You can't trust anything there, man.
Nope. Nope.
Damn. Called that one. Jesus. Gotta be careful out there, man. It's just fucking impossible these days. It's impossible.
Scammers and grifters all over the place these days. Their Steam cards.
I love that it's the most mundane, boring story that totally rings true. I'm on a book tour right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds right. She's written a fucking book.
Yeah.
Send me a Steam card. Okay, AJ, you're on a book tour? You want to play Steam games? Okay.
Yeah.
I got you hooked up. Hollow Knight, it's on. Jesus.
Well, let's see if this next story holds any water. That's about Bron Breakker and what his future plans are. This comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter. And Dave Meltzer spoke about what WWE is thinking by not having Bron Breakker compete for the World Heavyweight Championship at this upcoming Saturday night's main event against CM Punk. That's what Dave had to say. Quote, after injuring Rollins, need to carry the heel side. The feeling is to keep Breakker and Reed strong. Whether they will the tag titles, I think will win. Which was previously planned, and headline and tags against the top faces and make the tag titles not a mid-level belt. The idea is they have to be kept strong, even to the point of being kept out of the Battle Royal for the idea that they are just normal stars on the roster. That is a run-on sentence. Breakker is expected to end up as champion, but they have a plan of how and when to execute it, and it happening on a Saturday night main event show, which is a Peacock exclusive and likely won't do big viewing numbers, was decided to not be the time or place. So if Breakker wasn't going to win, there was no reason to put him in and get eliminated.
So If there was a way they could have written that to make them seem like they're too good for the Battle Royal, great.
Or
But
they
were,
attack Adam Pearce.
yeah, but they were written in a way that it was just like, well, as in your words, Braun Breaker was just rude to Adam Pearce, and so Pearce kept him out of the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Like they really should have completely wrecked Adam Pearce after that.
Yeah.
That's how you keep people strong.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you suspend them or some shit. I don't know. Or send them home. A big when they do the backstage big kerfuffle thing where Pierce is like, you need to get out of here. You need to go home. That kind of thing.
Suspended.
Yeah, but instead they just, they had Paul Heyman give a real limp dick excuse for like, you need to backstage politic. Don't worry about doing cool shit like, taking action or being physical. Let me do some talking. And then it's not even effective. He didn't even.
No.
Yeah, it was a real limp way to write that.
It really was. It really was. And that was more the issue.
But I mean, I get the idea of, wait until you have, you've got your plan, execute that the way you want to execute that because you think that's going to be the biggest deal. I get that.
No, totally. I totally get it. If the idea is they want to have Braun's coronation happen at one of the major pay-per-views on a larger stage, probably not Mania next year, I would guess, but you never know at this point. It depends on how strictly they're going to stick to the plan. Because if the idea is that Braun wasn't going to split from Seth until after Mania next year, if they're going to stick to that plan, then we're looking maybe SummerSlam at the soonest that Braun could end up winning that title.
I mean, dude, if they have a revised version of the original plan, maybe Mania. But if they're going to stick to the plan, yeah, SummerSlam probably.
At the soonest. It's going to be a little while. And I get the idea that if you want to make someone seem like a huge deal, you have them accomplish something huge on a huge stage.
I mean, let me proffer this. What if the idea was Punk would beat Rollins at Mania, like you and I had possibly said that might be the idea? Punk carries that title till SummerSlam. In the meantime, Braun, pissed off that Rollins dropped the ball, takes out Rollins, hunts CM Punk, and SummerSlam is where he gets it. That could be still the plan. Punk wins at Saturday night's main event and then carries that title until
I mean, sometimes the way Triple H books, that would be the setup. Seth would cost Braun his first title match at SummerSlam. Punk would win, and they would carry the Braun Rollins feud through the fall.
Yeah.
Braun would win the Rumble, not 2026, but 2027.
Right.
Leading to him to winning the title finally at Mania, was it 43? Yeah.
But here's the thing. He also needs his adversity, so he doesn't win at Mania 43. So he faces adversity from 43 until the Rumble of 2028, wins the Rumble 2028, then he beats
Ricky Saints for the title. I don't know who.
Jey Uso for the title.
Tribal Chief Jey Uso.
Tribal Chief Jey Uso at 28. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or maybe he could defeat Chris Jericho.
Oh, what a great segue, because it looks like Chris Jericho is done with AEW, or at least maybe.
I mean, if I'm really going to parse what Tony Khan here says, it sounds like he's done. So, of course.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no, totally. That's what I thought, too, as soon as I saw this.
Yeah, there's been a ton of speculation, rumors online about the possibility of Chris Jericho returning to WWE once his AEW contract expires. So, Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio and was asked about Jericho. And this is what he had to say, and these transcripts come to you from Wrestling Inc. Tony Khan says, I love Chris Jericho. He's a huge part of AEW. He's been here since the beginning, and I think we'll see what happens here in the coming months. But Chris is always a welcome, big part of AEW. We'd always want to have him here. So I am absolutely so grateful to Chris Jericho for everything he's done. Well, Chris Jericho is a huge part of that history. The very first AEW World Champion is somebody who's now a 9-time World Champion, has won several of those championships here with us. So I am very, very grateful to Chris. And Chris is always a very welcome, huge part of AEW. So Fightful Select recently reported that, barring some sort of extension or time being added to the contract, that Jericho's AEW deal is set to expire at the end of this year, and that, quote, multiple companies on a national and global level are interested in signing the former 9-time world champion. Fightful added that WWE is indeed one of those companies, and while I said his name hasn't been brought up officially in any sort of creative meetings or pitches, his name has been mentioned by higher-ups in the company. One source told Fightful that, quote, that he would, quote, almost certainly get offered several $1 million annually to return to WWE, but that same source noted that AEW could match WWE's offer.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, when you read Tony Khan's quote, it's like, yeah, hey, he was great here. We appreciate having here. He told me 3 months ago he was out the door,
I mean, dude, you got to think what Jericho could get on the market versus what he's actually worth to AEW. Those are two very different things.
Yeah, because I don't think he's worth at this juncture a whole lot to AEW. He's done basically everything. Him being associated with that promotion from the very beginning gave AEW a lot of legitimacy.
Oh, sure.
From, if you want to say, casual pro wrestling fans. And I would understand why Tony Khan is eternally grateful for Jericho taking that risk and signing with AEW, because it was a risk. AEW was not a sure thing.
No, it was not.
So I understand that. At this juncture, though, it seems like Jericho's time in AEW has more or less run its course. And I've said before, one thing Jericho knows, or used to know how was really good at one point, was knowing when to walk away, whether to take a break, leave a company, so on and so forth. Then if that instinct is still within him, it's time for him to walk away.
Now, let me ask you this.
Sure.
Is this a big old workaroo from Tony Khan and Chris Jericho?
I don't think it's a work. I think, if anything, it's a situation where Jericho's realizing, all right, I got some leverage I can maximize here by getting word out. I might want to go to WWE. I understand.
Tony Khan's like killing that leverage. He's like, hey, he's welcome back whenever he wants to come back.
Yeah, we appreciate him. I can't say he's gone, but I can walk around the idea that he's probably gone.
Jericho should just be like, hey, Tony, I helped establish your company. Can you publicly say that you're desperate to get me back? That you would do anything to get me back, because then WWE would be like, oh, we got to give him even more money.
Yeah. But then Tony Khan's like, well, then if to sign you, I'd have to sign you for whatever they're going to give you, because you wouldn't take less to stay here, would you?
I'm not asking you to sign me. I'm asking you to say you desperately want to sign me.
Well, what's in it for me?
My friendship, asshole. I put your company on the map. That's how you talk to your friends.
I guess so. Not to mention your bosses.
Not by the end of the year, he's not.
Well, I know, but at this point, still.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that'd be a nice favor for Tony Khan after all Jericho did for him. Hell yeah.
He's paid Jericho a shit ton of money. That favor has been repaid.
Oh, man. Jericho would have got that regardless from wherever he went. But yeah, no, we agree on, I don't know just how much more. I don't know. I mean, dude, it's in pro wrestling, AEW's been around for 6 years now, 6+. In pro wrestling, it's difficult for somebody to be around for such a long time and maintain, especially when your company is all about like youth, because that's what they are now. They're a youth company, or a youth company, or at least still has plenty of days ahead of them company type thing, So I don't know. I don't know how much more. And on top of that, the various twists and turns of Jericho's saga at a certain point, they all sort of blended into each other. And I appreciate that the guy really did, when people referred to it as the Jericho Vortex, I think it was an honest, he lost enough. It was an honest, I think that it was an attempt to help build up people in the company. It just never really helped much, but like he would work with people, like he had Action Andrade, right? Like beat him. Yeah. And it didn't really do much for Action Andrade, but in the moment it put him on the map,
Yeah.
So I think he tried, but I kind of think it really hurt his brand to a degree to not constantly be featured as a main event guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then like the whole Ring of Honor stuff, it's like, didn't really elevate that title all that much.
No.
They tried, I think, to get a TV deal out of that, but
they did twice, I think.
But that didn't work, yeah.
Before we move on to questions, we got an update here on the WWE AI situation, courtesy of Dave Meltzer.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, he's holding his own.
He's not backing off on this.
He's not.
So he said there's still a lot of anxiety about AI at WWE, despite assurances that it's not going to affect anything. This is an example that he mentioned. He said there is an executive who, quote, joked saying that it's not taking any jobs except saying one person, meant to be a joke since they named a name, but it still got many nervous. So he continues, people are still worried about it because the trust level has been down since they lied to everyone on the first Rollins injury.
Oh, jeez.
So now nobody trusts anything about injuries, and most believe TKO has no loyalty at all to anyone. And Dave here says, one person noted that even if it just eliminates some entry-level positions, that would mean fewer new riders being trained.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know about all that.
I don't know either.
But that's the update from Dave Meltzer.
That's the update from Dave. And I could hear some dude in a suit making some joke. The AI is not taking anybody's job except name, entry-level rider.
Yeah.
Meant to get a pop from the creative team.
And they're like...
And that poor guy who gets mentioned has to be like, huh.
Yeah, I know, right? He's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make a joke like that, make it about Michael P.S. Hayes.
Or make it about yourself.
You don't want to put any ideas in anybody's head, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
He's like, we can get rid of the free bird over there. And he's like, doot.
It's like, I'll doot out the door, yeah.
No, Michael Hayes would not like that joke.
No, he wouldn't.
He'd be sitting there with his fanny pack.
He'd be like, no computer come up with the finishes that I can.
Yeah, right. Hunter, you hear what that fucker said? We got to do something about that guy. Those old bastards.
Oh, what if... This would be awful. What if it was Joseph Park?
Oh, don't. Come on, man. Oh, that poor guy. That kills my soul.
Yeah.
Nah, he's a producer, man. You can't have AI produce matches,
no,
can
you? Can't
you?
do that. Can't do that.
I've never thought about that one. I got ChatGPT up right here.
Oh my word, Steve.
Can you produce
wrestling
match? A wrestling match? Watch. It's gonna be like, all right, here we go. 5 minutes of Gaga. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, absolutely. I can write a wrestling match for you. Oh, it's asking me. It's like 5 questions. Who's wrestling? Type of match? Tone, style, outcome, length, or scope?
Wow. They're going to book it move for move?
Damn, dude. They're going to replace Joseph Park.
You want to answer some questions?
Yeah, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Let's go ahead and answer some questions.
All right. Phantom Driver here says, I wasn't aware of the euphemism for Pearl Jam until the pod yesterday.
Yeah. A lot of people said that.
I'm happy someone brought up the cover story that was out there, that the name was a reference to, was it Eddie's grandmother's psychedelic jam or something like that.
Okay.
That was the cover story.
Yeah.
What's another lesser known mind-blowing fact that you know?
Oh, shit. Oh, that's an on-the-spot question.
That is an on-the-spot question.
A lesser known. Boy. I was going to pull out Magic 2 days in a row, dude.
Yeah, I know. I can't think. You know a lot of Beatles trivia. You got to have something that's...
Oh, Beatles stuff? I mean, I probably do. Yeah,
right,
it's on the spot, man. It's on the spot. I can't do that shit on the spot.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. You ready to do some blind power ranking, Steve?
Obviously, every day, all day.
Courtesy of Nate Cruz.
We got a new blind power rank video up yesterday.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the next one. Monday, we're going to film that shit.
Yeah.
Because I can't wait. On tomorrow, we've got going up, not pay-per-view. What is it called?
Count
Out.
Match card.
Match card game. We do have a count out going up here at the pod. But match card game is going up tomorrow. It's a good one. All right, how many entries?
5. What you have to do here is blind power rank things that make me, Larson, smile.
Hey, somebody had an idea, and I don't think I like it, but I appreciate that they offered it up.
All right.
For blind power ranking, it was have the entries randomly generated Probably by AI, which is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But I like the strategy.
That's
of
the whole
us
point
not-
of it.
Like the
the point.
fact that I got you to say Alberto Del Rio is the number one WWE
Yes,
champion.
that's the fun of the show. The blind power rankings are whatever.
It's the Larson and I know each other so well that I knew he was going to try to screw me over with Disco Inferno. So I had to bite on putting like Kyle Petty, the number one NWO member.
Number two is Horace Hogan was number one.
Oh, Horace Hogan was number one, exactly. But luckily for me, he's a deadlock favorite, so it was okay.
So things that make me smile. This is what
I can't wait for the next one though. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
a
eager.
good one.
I'm eager.
You're gonna
I'm eager.
you're gonna face palm when you find out what I'm giving you.
All right. First one, things that make me smile. Good pro wrestling.
Oh, things that make Larson smile?
Yes, me. Is there anything that makes me smile, Steve?
Good pro wrestling. We've been doing this way too long. I don't think you give a shit about pro wrestling anymore. I'm going to say number 4.
Wow, okay. Next, bad.
I'm joking about that, but I do think there's something to like. It's much more difficult to get us to pop for good pro wrestling these days.
Next one, bad pro wrestling.
I would actually rank that higher than good pro
That's
wrestling.
interesting because I think I have less patience for bad pro wrestling than you do.
Okay. We both have very low patience for boring pro wrestling. But botchy, funny, bad pro wrestling, you get a kick out of and I get a kick out of. Like if we're watching House of Torture and it's like the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, I would consider that bad pro wrestling, but it makes us laugh. So I am going to put that. I'm fine putting that at number 3.
All right. Next here, sneakers.
Number 1. Easy.
All right.
Easy. You got as much as you guys think you know that Larson loves sneakers, you have no idea. This guy has admitted to me that after a 2-hour basketball session where we're sweaty, disgusting, gross, he doesn't go straight home. He goes to the outlets. He goes to the Nike outlets.
Not all the times. I bring a change shirt.
You've done that before. Have you gone into a Nike outlet before, straight from basketball without changing a single item of clothes?
Maybe.
And that's number 1. All right.
Next up, Steve.
Fuck. Damn. Ooh, I got 2 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got to put you higher than honestly, like, dude,
You got to put yourself higher than pro wrestling.
I'm going to put myself higher in pro wrestling. I'm sorry, but like sometimes, and I always know, like, for example, just the other day when I busted out Man Mustard, you fucking popped. And that's like kind of the show, the blind power rank that went up yesterday. We were both hella laughing. I forget why, but there was something in there that was like we were both cracking up. So
There's a lot of things in there. I think just seeing you squirm was enough to make me giggle.
there you go. So yeah, Steve is definitely number 2.
All right, next one. I kind of feel like this might actually be number 1. The Motor City Machine Gun's hand gesture.
I don't know. Well, you're right. You broke my list because that's not number 5.
No. It might be number 1 at this point.
It's so dumb. It's so overdone. It's so awful.
That's why it's funny.
It's so bad. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They did good. Hey, they did good. They did good screwing me on that list. That was a good one.
Good job, Nate Cruz.
Nate Cruz got me on that one. All right. Good job. Yeah, they fucked me. Didn't do as well as I did yesterday on it. All right. Skylar King says, what are your thoughts on WWE using the dirt sheets to further storyline? I feel like Skylar has asked this question like a million times.
Maybe.
He says, does it create a new era of kayfabe where we don't know what's real and what's a work, or is it lazy? I think it's no different than WWE's ever done anything. They've always leaked information to the dirt sheets.
When it benefits them, yeah.
When it benefits them. I don't particularly think that... I don't know of any stories. I will put it this way. I don't know that there's been a consistent string of stories where we're thrown for a loop in terms of what's real and what's fake.
Yeah,
So
I
I kind of don't have much of an opinion on
MHJ is here, says, with big call-ups not really being a thing anymore, should we stop looking at NXT as a developmental brand, such as judging creative for not keeping stars interesting rather than saying they need called up? No, I think the idea that, if anything, I think the lack of major call-ups is more indicative that it's primarily a developmental brand. Because we see people who are on seemingly a trajectory where they're running NXT as crescendoing, whether they won the title or whatever. And historically, the next step would be call up. Instead, look at Bron, look at Trick. They keep them around to explore new aspects of them as performers, both of them with heel turns. That, to me, says NXT is more of a developmental brand than it was under Triple H.
I agree, and I think I'll expand on that, or sort of take a tangent, but on the same argument. The fact that they would have these immediate call-ups that showed they were ready for prime time now, they could hang with main roster, showed that the black and gold era was considered more of a third brand. They were involved in Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So they were all ready for prime time and ready. They could hang with the big guy. Nowadays, they got to do the crossover thing, and it's very rare. Like the Stephanie Vaquer situations are very rare, where she shows up, and I honestly think that was just, oh my God, she is so over. She fits in perfectly with main roster. Let's go ahead and hotshot her. But everybody else, they gotta figure it out once they get to main. Like there's no immediate, oh my God, this person. That's why I'll be surprised if Obafemi does the traditional old school call up where he comes in, dominates, has the title, whatever. I think they're going to slow roll him out, which is horrible because the way they used to do it for certain acts, oh my God, bang, they're in, they're good, they fit.
Well, then you understand, all right, this performer is a huge deal. Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, another blind power rank for you.
Oh,
you
damn.
all these
do I have any
blind
for you
power
over here? I don't have any for you over here. I hate that. I hate that for you.
What the heck?
Why do you get both?
So Greg Morris here says, which fictional character are you inviting to your barbecue and you must taste their food? It's an important caveat here.
All right. Barbecue and taste their food.
First one here, the scientist from Human Centipede.
Fuck. So that's what this is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's the thing about him. I'd like to think that he keeps his work at work. There's nothing that says to me, because he wears like a lab coat, he goes into the office and he's got 3 people hooked ass to mouth.
Mm-hmm. You make it sound so mundane and right, run of the mill. Yeah.
How are you going to say Motor City Machine Gun is the thing that pops you more than Steve here?
I don't know, man. I feel like I always giggle when we do Motor City Machine Guns, even though we've done it 1,000 times.
I know, but it's going to have its day where it's going to be old hat and Steve's still going to be here.
It's years and we still do John.
By the way, John sent me his picture of the championship title. It's a beauty. I'll have to show it on the show next week. There's nothing about his personal hygiene or habits that makes me think he runs a sloppy shop in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm putting that guy at number 2.
All right. Next up, Dracula.
Welcome to barbecue. Oh, the sun is out. That's a problem.
Well, unless it's an evening barbecue.
It's not
going
to
have to
be.
be.
Am I going to have an evening barbecue? I will come after dark.
There you go.
All right. Well, try my blood pie.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
There's probably some human in there, man. I'm going to put him at number 4.
All right. Next up, Leatherface.
I mean, they did sit around the table to eat, but I think they ate people, didn't they?
Yes.
I mean, dude, I don't know. They're probably going to put another fucking cannibal at number 3, but Leatherface. Here's the thing also about that house was so nasty.
It was gnarly, yeah.
It was so dirty. Like, okay, you're probably going to give me somebody else who likes eating shit or something like that. But like Leatherface, I would probably rather eat like poop than go to eat at Leatherface's house. That's nasty.
So where are you putting Leatherface? 5?
5, yeah, he's last.
All right. Next up here, Hannibal Lecter. You're right. Someone else who eats people.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I'm putting Hannibal at number 1 because at least he is open and out there about it. I might get drugged and but knowing that going into it, maybe I can be like, hey, is there any chemical that I can ingest before I go to Hannibal's place that will counter effects whatever he's going to
he's coming to your place.
Oh, yeah, he's coming to my place.
Yeah.
I just have to eat his food. I'll tell my friends in advance. This guy might try to drug me and eat me. So keep an eye on me if he gets out of hand at all. But like, he's going to give me some fava beans or some shit. You know, I don't know necessarily. He's always very open about what he's serving you. He's like, oh, do you like your food? It's like fucking fingers or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm putting Hannibal number 1 because I also feel like he is a guy who wants to impress. So he's going to come over with, you know, his fancy talking and stuff. Plus, hopefully it's the Brian Cox version of Hannibal Lecter. That'd be cool. So yeah, Hannibal, he's fine. He's number 1. And on top of that, I think Hannibal only fucked with people who deserved it, who were like bad people. I think he did.
Lastly here, Jon Favreau from the movie Chef.
Well, shit, that should have been number 1, man. That movie always made. What a great list that. My God, you guys know the assignment.
Yeah, they know how to do it.
Yeah. No, that's good. Wow, I got Hannibal and the Human Centipede above Chef. That movie is great.
It's a good movie. And those sandwiches always look amazing.
Oh my God, it makes me so hungry watching that movie.
Those Cubano sandwiches, they're so
good.
It's
a terrific movie, yeah. He directed that, didn't he?
Yep.
That's good stuff. Dave Matuszek says, with the Charles Manson Bray Wyatt story, what other notorious historical figure do you want to see with what wrestler? Notorious historical figure. Notorious figure. I'm going to say I want...
All right. This is so dumb.
Good.
Al Capone.
Oh, good.
Tony D.
That is good. That is really good. That's good. I like that.
Edward Munoz says, why should we wait for wrestlers to, quote, be more experienced or reach a certain age before they get their push? Look at guys like Carmelo Hayes or Devon Evans. Sure, there's room to grow, but how are they expected to get better when they're stuck jobbing in the mid-card? Wouldn't it be better or more interesting to take risks and see what happens with young guys than recycling the same 10 names? 1,000%.
Here's an argument for the way they do it. There is the risk of doing too much too soon. Like Tiffany Stratton, for example. She's champion. It's kind of an underwhelming run. Like, there's been some high points. But after she loses the title, it's like, yeah, we can always fall back on, well, tell good stories, right? But, like, there's only so many stories I feel they're capable of telling in the world of pro wrestling. And so there is the idea that Carmelo's going to be around till he's at least 45. He's got a good 15 years. And for certain people, especially when you have a ton of talent, the crowd will get you there. Like LA Knight right now. Boy, people are pissed about Jey Uso, at least on the internet, because they really want LA Knight to get there.
But I think what makes you stand out is character. And right now, the issue with Tiffany, I don't think is so much her matches or how she's booked per se, is that her character's just not that interesting.
It's very one-dimensional, yeah.
Yeah, whereas LA Knight's got a character that captures the imagination of the WWE universe.
Still very one-dimensional, but you're right. He does connect with the crowd.
Yeah, he does. He connects with the crowd. More than anything, I think that's the important thing. And I think a lot of times WWE falls back on that to overcome whatever creative shortcomings they may have at any particular point. They got a lot of very strong, well-defined, beloved characters that people will cheer for almost kind of regardless of what they're doing. Yeah. And if you have someone like Javon Evans, for example, who is already one of the best wrestlers in the entire company, he's got a personality that is relatable and genuine. His promos come off as effortless. He's just out there talking. Like, he's the type of guy, I don't care if he's 21 or 31, that you push because he is going to connect via all three facets of what he brings. That's like, I think it blows my mind that they're not even doing much of anything with him at NXT, much less bringing him up to main roster and pushing him huge.
Yeah.
Like, he's a guy that checks all the boxes in terms of connecting with the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Art Guy says, what are your thoughts on Goldberg still talking about Asuka and referring to her as some girl? Here's the thing. Art Guy, what do you think our thoughts are? I feel like this is a question that it's like, you know how we're going to... I feel like this is a question that's like so obvious that you just want us to talk shit about Goldberg, which I'm fine doing. But like, we've made it very clear the first time he talked about Asuka in this way. And now that he's airing his grievances, I don't give a shit about Goldberg.
Nope.
I haven't since really 1998. And he continually proves that he's a low-class individual. Yep. And he is not the alpha that he claims to be, regardless of him claiming to surround himself with alphas. So there you go. WCW decided to give the streak to some guy, and 50 years later, he's still bitching about WWE giving it to somebody who is much more worthy than that dude.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Asuka has more talent in her pinky than Goldberg has.
Than that guy has.
Yes, than that guy has. Yes.
Than some boomer has.
So him continually whining about it is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gregory Fiella says thoughts on the current NBA gambling scandal.
Boy, oh boy, if we got
some wild shit.
If only we had that NBA podcast, this would be a ton of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
It's insane to me, dude. Some of these guys might have to end up in witness protection, bro. Given the extent that organized crime is involved with this, like one of the players, it was said that they were like their life was threatened if they didn't do what.
Oh, it was the Porter guy.
Yeah.
He had been threatened that if to continue on with the racket they had going.
Yeah, like, man, if you flip on these dudes, which they might have to, if you're under pressure, that you got to go into hiding.
Potentially, yeah.
Like, you can't fucking.
You have potentially an NBA Hall of Famer, Chauncey Billups.
Right.
How are they going to protect his new identity? The whole idea that for like this is what the reporting is, like Chauncey and I believe Damon Jones were paid to be part of these rigged poker games. People are paying for an opportunity to play poker with an NBA Hall of Famer. That means enough people know who he is that they were willing to spend huge money just for an opportunity to be in the same room as him. How is he going to go into witness protection? And how are they going to keep his identity a secret if it comes to that?
I don't know how I have no idea how that's handled, how a high profile personality, I don't know.
Is there really precedent for it?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
That shit's wild, man.
It really is. Crazy.
You have to wonder how deep that shit goes, though. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like, dude, poker's already, it's like, I don't know. Like
Well, I saw a article from Wired. I didn't read it because I didn't have time at the moment, about how the mechanism they use to shuffle cards for poker could be hacked.
Oh God, yeah.
Like fairly easily, and apparently, I guess based on some stuff I was reading, but at this point, there's so much stuff going out.
It's like
information that was one of many things that was being utilized for these poker games, as long as all sorts of like spy technology.
Yeah,
apparently.
right. Like X-ray glasses and fucking
contacts
infrared
that can
shit
see
and magnetic tables or whatever.
Crazy.
Like, yeah, you can't just run an illegal poker game. You have to add that to it so it's super stacked in your favor. That's wild. That's wild. Jesse Helsius, what's a movie you thought you'd hate but end up enjoying? Minecraft.
I did enjoy that more the second time I watched it than the first one.
I was like, I was so anti going to see that movie, but Bama loves that kind of shit. And so I was like, all right, we're going to go out and do the family thing, spend $500 going to the movies these days. And I sat there, and I think once I realized that, what's his name? Jared Hess? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that directed it. When I realized it was him, I was like, because I started watching it. I think before the credit, like the opening credits, like rolled on who directed it, I think I noticed a couple like of his stylistic choice. I was like,
yeah,
is this fucking Jared Hess? And then his name popped up. I was like, oh shit, okay, this might be all right. And then watching it, the fucking man sandwich shit had me rolling.
Yeah, that was funny. Finn Gardner here says Roman Punk team versus Vision team still rumored as the War Games match. Apparently they're going with the plan. Who fills out a 4v4 match? So who joins Roman and Punk, and who joins Braun and Bronson? Is it still gonna be Austin Theory and Brock? Braun, Bronson, Austin. If they do something where it's Vision and it's Austin Theory or somebody else and Brock, and if they have plans for Braun Breaker to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, thinking that'll be a huge win for him. Mm-hmm. Set it up in that match.
Yeah, you might as well. I feel really good. Austin Theory is still only 28 years old. I feel very like if they're gonna do this with him, you got to feel really good about his chances of finally achieving his fullest potential. I think they could do some cool shit with him.
Mm-hmm. The Punk and Roman, I guess it would be Jay, maybe LA Knight. I
mean, yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is LA Knight. I don't know what they're going to be doing with Jay at the time, but they could forward the story with Jay. If they want to do Jay Roman at Mania, then you do it. You put them on the same team of War Games.
Yeah. Yep. You have the issue they have with them, like who's leading the team.
Do the thing where they're in the
especially
cage,
if Jay is champion.
And Jay, what if they're in the cage? They're the last two, and Jay holds Roman back from going in.
Yeah.
The way Roman held Punk. Didn't Roman hold Punk back from going in? Isn't that how it went? Or did Punk hold Roman back? I forget how it was.
Roman held somebody back. I don't remember exactly.
But yeah, you could do that, kind of like Jay's going to be big dog and Roman.
Especially if Jay's world heavyweight champion at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting dynamics you could play with there. Anyways, Javier says, what are your top 3 comedy movies?
Oh, wow. Doctor Strangelove.
Is Lebowski considered a comedy?
Yeah. Because I was about to mention Lebowski.
Boy, Strangelove is funny. Yeah, it's Lebowski. I'd put Strangelove on there.
Trying to think of a third, though.
There's so many to choose from.
I know.
Honestly, probably Anchorman. Yeah, probably Anchorman.
Yeah, that's a good 3.
That movie's fucking hilarious.
It is really funny. Alex Foster says, if you guys were supervillains, what would your powers be and what would be your weaknesses?
If I was a super bad guy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, isn't that just the difference? Like, if you're a superhero, what would your powers? Like, you just use it for bad things.
Depending on what you use your powers for.
What superpower would you want the most?
Me?
I think I know what I want the most. It'd be invisibility.
I would say teleportation and not like
That's
using
fucking dangerous as shit.
Yeah. But
What if
that
you're
would be
just
the
out
most,
at night and you look up at the moon and then all of a sudden you're there?
But in terms of like kind of just getting around in a day-to-day thing, that'd be by far the most convenient.
And then you look back on Earth and you just end up like there. It's like, oh, fuck.
I mean, obviously, you have to be adept at controlling your superpower. Otherwise,
You have to be really good. Like, imagine the learning curve on that.
Could be.
You're like, oh, boy, that sun is bright. And then you're just in the sun.
And then that's it.
You're done. You're cooked. Literally.
Unless you're invincible as well.
Right, yeah, but you can't double up.
No.
But invisibility, I'm not even saying to be a creep at all. I'm saying, like, you can go and steal whatever you want. You could be a fly on the wall in any conversation. You could expose corruption. You know, there's a lot you could do with that as a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
Just saying.
This teleportation would be really convenient. I don't want to spend half-hour traffic there instantly. It'd be super convenient.
But then you just end up in a car. Like phased in a car.
No, I wouldn't.
You're like, I want to get past all this traffic here. I want to get up there. You're in your car. You're like, I want to get up there.
I wouldn't get in my car to begin with. If I knew I could teleport there, I wouldn't get in my car.
Yeah,
I'd walk out of my house. I want to be downtown Sacramento. Bang, I'm there.
Okay, but what if you end up phasing a wall or something? You're downtown Sacramento. Where are you going to go?
I'm gonna put it.
What if there's a person where you're thinking of?
I'm gonna go on Google Maps and drop a pin exactly where I want to go, and that's
what if there's a person standing there? Then you're just like, then you split them, they explode. You're not thinking this through.
I feel like you're thinking about it way too much.
No, bro.
These are the mechanics you worked out as you learned to do it.
What if you phase into like a child standing there with their kids, and you just phase into a child and they explode, and you're like, oh god,
that'd be terrible.
Steve was right.
No, I wouldn't want that to happen.
I wouldn't either. I'm saying it would. You gotta be careful about that stuff.
Obviously, it's not something you jump into kind of willy-nilly.
That's the thing though, man, is like, I'm going to go teleport over there. How do you know there's not somebody just hanging out there, or like a train or with the trolley or whatever it's called passing by? You know,
this is like a fun question, and you made it all kind of like complicated and not fun anymore.
Because you're not thinking it through.
Well, I wasn't trying to think it through. It was a silly question and a silly answer.
Listen, bro, you become invisible.
You're dropping way down the list of things that make me smile right now. 5.
I'm number 1. Things that make you go, though.
No, you're not. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. I don't even remember what you said. I'm not going to ponder this any further because I don't put much thought into this.
Because you know I'm right. Now you're never going to use teleportation.
Still, I mean, I'd like to. It's still the most convenient superpower.
I want to go to Scotland, and all of a sudden you're inside a castle wall. That's horrifying.
Yeah, it would be horrifying. Why do you like this? This is a silly conversation.
Now you're gonna have nightmares about phasing into people.
Absolutely not.
All right, that's gonna do it for this. I pissed off Larson on a Friday. That's
now
gonna do it for
you're
the
completely
show.
off the top 5 list.
You know what, man? Fine. I'm tired of this too. We'll just review SmackDown on Monday. How about that?
Fine. I don't want to see you till then. Except for basketball this afternoon.
Except for basketball this afternoon. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, goodbye.